Okay, sorry about that. Sorry about the delay and a bit of mucking around with getting the camera right and all sorts of things. I'm just going to wait until you guys hop on. I think I've got it in a much better position today. So I'm hoping it is actually right way around today, which is nice. I'm going to go through some little things that I do. You're on today. Yes, cool. So the camera is actually right in front of me, between me and the actual machine, so it's a little bit more difficult, but I think you guys will get a better close-up version of this, so you'll actually see it better. I'm just seeing how fast I'm going. All good. Waiting for a few people to hop on board. Hope you get a good night's sleep and feel nice and refreshed for today. I'm just slopping on a coffee. So I can see Pat and Rado are on. Let's see. Someone's sending me a comment. I'm just saying not available. Okay, let's go reply. Try now. Okay. Yes, so I'm hoping the camera doesn't shake too much and carry on. The view is great. Good. That was the idea. Get you right in there to see it up close. I'm on better view than yesterday. Great. Thanks, Janie. Got it, thanks. Great, Cheryl. Yeah, I tried to start one and you probably went into that one, and I actually didn't try to start recording. It recorded before I was ready. I was fiddling around with the camera. So I tried to delete it, so you must have got onto the one I got it deleted. So there's about 18 people so far on board. Is a nice sleep going to sleep with rain falling? Yes, very nice. Yes. Hubby decided to have a few ales last night, and I think the rain made him very, very relaxed, I think. Good to hear the rain on the roof. So good morning from everyone, or for everyone, or to everyone from the Great Australian Craft Show, brought to you by the people from Craft Alive. And here we are individual people, those who haven't been on board before and haven't seen me before, or we're individual businesses that have all come together. Good morning, Lynette. Happy Saturday, yes. I'm just going to do a little bit of free motion quilting, the I should call it airy fairy way. We are going to, it should be a nice close up today. Should be right way around. You can see everything up very, very close so that you can see exactly what I'm doing. We are going to do a little bit of fill this morning in between those little fellas. So between circles and stipple and some we might do some wormhole things and stuff like that. I think they'll look great filling in between, and we might do some of those little funky leaves. That was my coffee repeating on me. So hopefully you can join me this afternoon. I've got a class at around about, I think it's 3 o'clock I put in, and I'm going to do some collage piecing and show you how I put them together. I find it very relaxing to do, and I'm sure you will as well. And when you're doing that free motion stitching to stitch it all down, that will also help out with your actual quilting side of things. So hope to see you there. Thank you all for joining me the last couple of days. I've been really enjoying the company. It's been lovely. and enjoying the conversations and great company and good people. So what else can go wrong? Nothing. Now all I need is to quilt. So just one more gulp of my coffee before I get into it. I think, well, we got about 16 people on. Probably could have more, but we'll just get going into it, I think. Otherwise you're going to sit here and listen to me yap on all day and look at a picture of variegated thread. So I've actually sold out of this thread again, so I will have to order some more in. I'll probably order another 10 in, so if you're after this thread, send me a quick PM. A bit hard to write while I'm sewing, and I don't have a right-hand man today to help me out with things. Alright, so getting my little bits and pieces and putting my eyeballs on. There we go. So you'll be able to see up nice and close. I've got to remember not to look through the screen and to look where I'm actually going. What I want to do first is I just want to fill up this little area here, and I might do that little wormhole thing. So the wormhole is like a C, and you go back and forth. It's a daisy, a bit of a catch, and back and forth. And so if you can draw the letter C, you can do this one. Now the idea is to try and keep them reasonably the same, but in my world nothing's perfect, so that's just not going to happen. Just saying. So if they're not the same, who cares? And then I'm going to turn back and go this way. And you'll see that all the stitches are really small, and that's because I'm doing lots of little areas and, you know, little micro quilting, so it tends to be very small little dots. And I'm okay with that, because if they were big dots, I'd have square corners. So lots of little movements. Sometimes I get the little jerky movements in, but that's, you know, not a big deal. We all do those things. Not perfect. And I'll stop there. So I'm just going to rotate it around so I can work towards myself, because it actually is a little bit easier. But you can see how easy that letter C, just doing that one motion of coming in that letter C and then back again and just coming out a little bit further each time, how much that can do in one small little area. You can see how straight lines can help and what they can do. It doesn't have to be, everything doesn't have to be swirls and whirls, you know what I mean? Like, it doesn't have to be big sweeping swirls. It can be just tiny little letter C's. There we go, back and forth, and they'll fill in that area really quickly. So almost sold out of those chalk pencils too. I love them. I've had mine for years. That and the sew line pencil, when I'm doing really detailed areas and I need a fine line, that's when I use the sew line one. And you can see I just come up and I'll change direction, go up around this little leg. I'm going to come down here and travel, put one in there underneath this little tootsie, and around. Because I don't want to ruin his little leg and make it that you can't see it. So I'm just going to put in some here, because I'm using lots of little movements. I need to grab my fabric, travel up here, and stop. And I'm just going to slow it down a fraction more, just for me. So any questions at all so far? You can see what I'm doing, and it all makes sort of sense what I'm doing with this little step. Just the letter C. So we go out and then out and back. It's like an echo. And then if you're wanting to turn a corner, you make it go more to one side. So let's go to this way, and you'll see I'll make it go that way and that way, that way. Now I'm going to come back over up here towards me, and there it goes. And to me it looks like a little wormhole, doesn't it? Just bought the same machine. Good to see what it does. Oh, fantastic, Janie. Good mornings, Tony. How are you? Janie, the machine is a brilliant little machine, or big machine, I should say. I love this machine. I like all the Janome Horizons. But really and truly, it's what you do for the machine. And some machines are just not made to do free motion quilting. They're made to just do the general everyday stitching, and therefore this sort of thing can be quite difficult for them. But other machines cope with it really well. You'll find that a lot of the small machines might not cope well, but the larger throated machines, because they're designed for quilting and stuff, they can cope with a little bit of battering. My mechanic always freaks out when he sees my machine. He says, I don't know how they last so long because you put them through such a hard time. And I say, yes, I do. Aren't they good? That just shows you how tolerant the Janome machines are. So you can see how I turned the corner then. I just moved my angle of my C over to the other way. And I'm going to get smaller and smaller as I get into that little area. But again, I don't want to take over that dragonfly. So we've just done a nice little swirl there, and I'm going to do a couple of circles or bubbles, whatever you want to call them. I'm just going to make them a little bit more interesting, and they're just going to come off the side. I'm going to do a little coloured bit on the inside of it. There we go. It might get caught because of all the build up underneath, so I might cut off before it cracks it at me. So because it builds up a lot there, it might not let me move any further. So then I'm going to come off the side of this one and do a circle, come back a smaller circle in the inside, and just back and forth and fill that in with a colour. Yeah, and you can see it doesn't want me to move, so I've got to put my little foot up a little. So I'm just going to cut that off. There we go. Now I'm also going to just give that another roll around there, make that thicker. And I'm going to travel down here, and I'm going to do one more. I might make the outside a bit thicker this time. Come in this inside and just fill in that little area. And let's travel and give that one an extra edge. Alright, we'll cut off there and we'll move to a different position, and I'm going to come over here and just get my thread buried. You can see I've got a little bit of thread here, a bit of fluff. I'm going to trim that baby off because it'll irritate me and I'll forget that it's there, because I forget my head if it wasn't screwed on. Now I'm going to do some of those ones we were doing yesterday, which were, let me just find them, these little fellas, these ones here. You can see very similar to what I've got here, but I'm going to come off and do a little tail up there. I'm going to make them a bit bigger. And now, and then I'm going to come up here, create the next one. Something so simple as a wavy line. So if you can write the letter S for simple, then you can do these. An S, and back again, and then up the other side with an S, and then back again, and back down. Right, I might need to lift the foot. So you can see how that's starting to work. And we can fill that area in. I'm just going to turn it around so I can see what I'm doing. You can see. Alright, so let's move this up here. And let's fill in this one. So it's an S, another S. Can you hear that nice humming beat that my machine has? That's the noise you want to listen for. It's a really calming noise. You know your machine is in the right position, speed-wise. It's in the right frame of mind for a machine to do exactly what you need. It's going well on the speed, the needle's good, and she's just humming away. Thanks, Michelle. You're a sweetie. Oh, look, anyone can do this. It's just practice, practice, practice. I'm not doing anything that is crazy difficult. So far, I've done an O, like an O, a 0. I've done a C, and I've done an S. It's a bit of an alphabet. Let's come up here and create another one. We're going to create a nice little bush of leafy things. There we go. Nice little wave up there. We can make one up here. And these can be big and small. And you know what? If you give it a bit of a zigzaggy shape, who cares? If it doesn't quite look like an S shape, who cares? As long as you're happy with your final results and you've done it yourself. Hypnotic, just watching the groove. Yeah, so that's that, Tony, that is that rhythm you get into, and your machine gets that noise, and it's, don't be silly, Shell, your work is amazing. Love the thread colour. Oh, thanks, Shell. Yeah, the thread colours just makes it pop. You know, you can really, it gets that, it's just like you get into a groove. A groove is a good way of saying it. It's a real feel. And you just feel perfectly at home with it. And one day, you know, when you'll be practicing and practicing and practicing, and then one day, all of a sudden, the penny will drop, and you'll go, oh my God, I can do this. That's what happened to me. I just went, oh wow, I don't need to be, you know, anyone special. I can do this just by practice, practice, practice. And, you know, you're feathering and things like that. So I haven't really done anything like feathering in here. It's because I don't think it really needs it. I'm going to fill up this little, you can see it's all bumpy and lumpy and stuff. So I'm going to get in there and fill that in. So let's fill it in with some figure eights. Figure eights are nice and easy. I think it's just lost its thread, did it? Oh no, she's good to go. So up one way, down the other, one way, down the other, and come behind it. Behind. That's a bit more of a traditional pattern. Up one way, down the other. To the outside, down, outside, down, outside, down, outside, inside. And just one more little fella in there, and I'm going to come out here. When you stop, does your machine auto bury the thread? I struggle trying to keep my studio tidy, never mind masterpiecing like you do. Mine's definitely not tidy. So when I stop, I've got an auto cut off, and the thread cuts off underneath. It can make a little bit of a mess underneath, but that's okay in art quilts. We just trim it up later. As far as it doesn't bury any thread as such between the layers, no. So I'm just going to do a couple of little circles here just to fill up that area, but without taking it away from Dragonfly. And I'm going to echo, and you'll all of a sudden will say, oh my God, look how bumpy, and look how what's the name it is. See how that is? Off topic a smidge. I spray basted a quilt before I moved. It's now wrinkly. Can I iron it without ruining the glue so I can quilt it? Okay, so you should be able to pull it apart, Rado, and reline it back up and glue it down. If you use a steam iron, it will soften up the glue, like remake it. stick down, and then use a dry iron. Just be careful that you don't iron creases into it permanently. Just noticed it came out of its little groove. There we are. Make sure it's all in. Yep. Has it come out of there? No, it's all good. So I've just gone around that little fella. I can see a thread there. I try not to, especially with this type of machine, use those glue sprays if I'm going to, because that glue can get caught up in your machine, and no one wants that. So I'm just going to travel just down here and around a bit. I know it's a bit of a long way to go, it's the wrong way, but I just wanted to get at the opposite side of this without making too much build up in here. A special foot. I don't know if you'd call it a special foot. It's a free motion foot. It doesn't bounce. Did you notice it doesn't bounce? It just stays in one position and glides. I think that is the main reason for my love for this foot. I'm just going to push it down a little. It's got a little groovy thing here. It makes the foot go up and down. So as the fabric gets thicker or thinner, I can wind it up a bit so that it glides over rather than being pushed in. So I'm just going to do some more of those little leafy things, because they were pretty cool. Just smaller ones. Just a couple here. So the reason why I've done no feathering really in here is because I think as soon as people hear the word feathering, they really want to know how to do it, but it stresses them out. And I don't think you have to feather to be able to quilt. I'm just going to move the camera, guys, so bear with me, just so you can see a bit more there. There we go. All right, so I'm now going to go down this way in here. I have started with some little leafy things. And I'm thinking I might actually do, oops-a-days, made a bit of a grunt, a couple more of them just to get out of this little tight spot, and then I'm going to do some funky circle-y things, a bit like over here. So these feet are available through Statewide Sewing Centre, just so you know. So I'm doing a large circle outside a small one, larger circle, a little one in the middle. If you notice, I'm going around a couple of times. Larger circle, a little one in the middle, half a circle there, can't see the rest of it, half circle there. Still going around twice. One way here. Another circle. One round, twice. And a little circle. One. So that over here is a different thread. Oh, good, Kathleen. I'm glad you're enjoying it. So you can see that's a different variegated thread there. Sorry, my hand just made it refocus there. So I'm just going to go in there and mix up a little bit of that colour just to pretend I haven't changed colour. And then you won't know, unless I've told you, which I didn't. So just back over a few lines. Appearance that it's variegated. Okay, let's go out here and do another circle, a smaller one, bigger circle, back over the small one. You go over it 3 times, it doesn't hurt, no one's going to die as a result of it. And then a smaller one. Will this foot fit a brother 6200D? Good morning, Faye. Yeah, it's a free motion quilting foot. Yeah, absolutely, but it's a certain type of foot. I can find out from Wendy and pop it up on the thing, but I need to be able to tell you what kind of machines and sizes it'll fit. I doubt it'll fit the brother. It might. I'm not sure, Val. This view is by far the best view yet. We can get a better idea of how you make the shapes because it's not backwards. I know, Rado. I'm so clever today. Don't get used to the cleverness because it does wear off. I'm going to get some more info about those feet because I think that a lot of people would benefit from them. All right, nice big circle. And let's do a little one in there somewhere. They look like little eyeballs. Another one. And a tiny little circle in there. And let's just travel back down those few little leafy things we've already done and do a couple more to get ourselves out. All right. Just fill up that little area with an extra layer. And we go down here. And up and down. So I've built that out a little. What I want to do is I sort of just got to figure out which position I've got to come in from. I might cut off there and just come from down here and up, just to really confuse the whole thing. Although, I don't know, maybe I can, I don't know, I could probably do it over here. Yep, I can do it over here. So what I'm thinking of is I know the sort of design that I want to do next, just for something different to show you. But I'm thinking of the direction. It's a directional thing, so I'm sort of thinking of the direction it's going as to whether it's going to suit what I'm doing or whether it's not. So that's why I was humming and ahhing. What machine are you using? Jean, I am using a Memory Craft 14,000, which is a Janome Horizon machine. Most of the Janome Horizons, they're all got a larger throat. They are really, really good with this kind of work because they're workhorses. They really are. And they'll take these feet. All right, so let's go up. Let's create a little bit of a straight line. And let's just do a bit of a ziggy-zaggy thing. All right, let's go up there like that and then come back down the other side. Big zigzag, zigzag, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And then back down. And then just back up here. And let's go ziggy-zag. Zigzag, zigzag, zigzag. Just make it a little one. Come back down the other side. I can see a big piece of fluff in my way. I can see you. And then we're going to come back down. Just a big zigzag, zigzag. Right, then back down. I'll come all the way down this time. Then I'm going to come out and do another ziggy-zag. I love the sound effects. They're important. And then back down. Now, let's wrap some leaves, long strapping leaves around them. Let them overlap and twist around. Nice point at the end, so you've got to pause that little second. Look at this. And we're going to make another one up here. Back down. Nice strapping leaves. And come down here. Here, strapping leaves now, and let's go up through here, one more. The ziggy-zag, that's very technical. I have lots of technical terms, that being one of them, and the thingamajiggy. So you can see now it's become, I'll just move the screen, so bear with me. There you go. Oops-a-days. It's become a little bit like, I don't know, wheat or something like that. But to blend it in with everything else, I need to create some more little flowery things. So let's go over here and create an X. So let's go X up that way and down that way. Let's go back to the first one, up to the top and back down. Up to the top, back down, just very close next to its previous stitch line, up to the top and back down. Then go to the side one. You can think of it as north, south, east, west if you want to, whatever suits. and then you can go up to here, back up again. You can do one side at a time, or you can do two. We're going to have one go underneath this flower. So we'll pretend that there's another petal underneath. And we're going to do one between here. And then up and down either side. One on this side. Up here. This one's going to go over. I can see comments, but I can't quite stop right now. Bear with me a sec. Let me get this finished. One here. I'm going to go a little one here. And then a little one on this side. Tiny ones. And then up on this side. Tiny ones. Just a little. On this side. Up a little. Back down. And then up this side. Up a little. Back down the side. The centre. Up, down the side, back down to the centre, up the side, back down to the centre, and there we are, that was the last one. There. Oh no, it's just people coming in and out of the thing, so then we've created another flower. I think that's too big a gap on that one, so we're just going to add some extra bits. You wouldn't even know I did it. The stitches are very even. I seem to get larger, small stitches. So, Lynette, what happens with that? Hi, Suzanne, is that I have my machine. I take the foot off my machine and I use it with a stop-start button, which you can't quite see. It's just off screen. So then I set my speed, you know, the little slide thing for your speed, little arrows, and I set that to a speed that I know suits my hand movement. So you tend to find that your motor skills, your hand movement, tend to work at a certain speed. Now, if you've got to think about your foot as well as your hands, as well as, you know, the fabric, and as well as this, that, now, then that just adds an extra motor skill. So I take a motor skill out and just use my stop-start button. So I have my, I'll just move the screen so you can see. There's my stop-start, and I sit there and I just go like that as I'm sewing. So I'm holding it with one hand, I've got the other hand, and I've got my hand on its side, and I just touch that when I'm ready to stop. And that, because I know my motor skills, I've been doing it for long enough, I should bleed more time. I know how fast I need to have my machine to how big the stitches are. Then I know what speed to sit it at. And normally when I'm teaching people to do it, I say sit it at the halfway, and then, or just under halfway on that sliding little disc, and, or little slide bar thing. And then what you do is, as you go up or down as to whether your stitches are too big or too small. So if your stitches are too big, it means your machine is too slow for what your hands are doing. If your stitches are too small, then that means that the machine is going too fast for your hand movement, so you need to slow it down. So I hope that helps, and it is a practice thing, getting used to how you move and what you need to be doing. So we're just going to add a little bit of a doodah in here just to take up that little bit of space without creating a new flower. Back over this side, because I can see all this, look at that bubbly stuff there that we have to get rid of. All right, so I'm going to now do some leaves and stuff in there. I might even, oh good, it helps heaps. Yep, okay, that's good. Thanks, Pat and Lynette. Great. I might do another one of those nice leaves that we did the other day, but I might put some different designs in it. So I might come back over this side. I need to come back over. So I've got two options. I can cut off, or I can just travel over and come up to a position where I'm happy. And because it's all variegated and whatever, and even if it was black on black, you wouldn't see these traveling things that I'm doing. And again, I'm just moving that screen a little. Sorry. There we go. So I'm going to do a leaf out here just to help fill up that area. Oops, a day's big jump. That's that jerky movement that I get every now and then. I don't know what it is. It's just something that our bodies do. All right. So I've just made the shape outline, and I'm going up twice around there for now. I'm going to travel back down these to find the centre. There it is. I'm going to go up and down there a few times. And then I'm going to create my veins. Again, making them nice and thick. Right to the edge of that leaf edge. Don't be frightened. Don't go halfway. You want to cut off these areas from each other, and you'll see why in a minute. Come down here. And then I just need to pretend that there's one behind here, so we've got to come in from that little area there. And then over here, you can see that I need one here. Just this little random one. Then I'm going to come back out and go around the outside again. I'm sorry, I can see comments again, but I just got my eyeball on the machine, so I won't let go yet. I'll answer them in a sec. Alright, so we've got this really groovy... I can see it. A bit scared of my stop-start button, but I'll give it a go. Yeah, Lynn, really practice on some calico, something, and when you're practicing, try and practice with a thread that is similar to the colour of fabric, so that you don't freak yourself out, because you'll have large and small stitches and things like that. But if you've got a fabric that's the same colour as your thread, like black on black or white on white, then, or cream on cream, then when you're stitching, it'll build your confidence, but without building a lie on your stitches. So you'll know that you're doing, too big or too small stitches. You'll see it, but it won't stand out. Has just said, are you still on your phone? It won't stand out like it would if you used a variegated thread on a black. So when you first start, just be kind to yourself and just give you the chance to grow. Yeah, certainly taking the boredom out of lockdown. Thank you so much. Oh, you're welcome, Michelle. My start button is the best. It felt weird at first, but I use it. Yeah, I use it even with piecing. I do everything with my start. Foundation piecing. Husband has just said he's still on your phones from Tony. Me too, never mind coffee. Yes, I was right. It was strange using a button at first, but I've been using stop-start while making masks. Yeah, absolutely. And use it with your quilting. Got plenty of time. Yes, we do now. We're all in lockdown, so plenty of time. Spend that 15-20 minutes a day. Just doesn't matter if it looks like rubbish when you first start. Just keep going, keep practicing at it. It's all to do with your motor skills. So the more you practice, the more your body will remember what you've been doing. So in these little areas, I'm just going to do a couple of different shapes. So I'm going to do a bit of a zigzag in this one, nice and simple. And then I'm going to come up here and do the same zigzag one. And there's that word. That's a very technological word. There we go. I thought you might have boogered that one, but it doesn't matter. My man would love to see it. And then with this one, I'm just going to do this and then come back the other way. And that gives me like little circles without doing circles. And I'm going to come up over here and I'm going to do it again. So up one way, little wave, and then come back the other way and create my circle. Alright, and then with this one, I'm going to go some sort of straight line bizzo. I'll just do this one coming in that way. Back down. And I'm going to just do a couple of lines up and down. And just to make it look like there's something in there, even though there really isn't. Oh, I'm not locked down. I feel for you. I know. Hi, Jacqueline. Hi, sorry, Jackie. I saw jackal and then garlic, and I've put it together in my head. I'm not in lockdown. Yeah, I know, poor baby. We're really feeling it, I think, at the moment. All right, so I'm going to come down over here. So I'll just move this over here because I've got this little gap over here that's starting to annoy my brain. So here it is here. I know it's a huge problem. You feel my pain. Let's do a little bit of stipple in here. And I know I haven't done any stipple today or yesterday for ages. But we're going to do this really tiny. And yes, if you haven't done tiny stipple before, it can be very painful. But in small little places like this, it works a treat. If you're trying to fill a whole quilt with tiny stipple, and that's another story. And then I'm just going to follow that little straight line I've got there, or it's semi-straight. Look at that, look at that, look at that, look at that. Nice. All right, so that's all filled. There it is there, you see? I don't know if you can see that. There it is. It's all in there. All right, so I've been going for about 40 minutes. Got to go. See you at 1. Have learned heaps. Thanks, Michelle. I struggle with stippling. Stippling is probably one of the hardest ones. Thank you, Michelle. You gave me a reason to have time out for a cuppa. Awesome. I am going to go. I will see you back at 1 o'clock in the classroom. I'm going to try it on my phone this time and see if it helps with the camera. I know that I was sort of told maybe not, but we'll see how it goes. So I will see you all at 12. Have a lovely lunch and talk to you soon. Bye.